What is wrong? I feel like you're agitated.
No, I'm not agitated. I'm focused. Now my sinuses are doing this.
Do you guys feel it? I feel it. I feel you are exuding a presence that is oppressive towards me.
What are you talking about?
What's up, ScrubHub? Welcome to the Quarterly. I'm Doc Bishop.
And I am NevrEndingPants.
So you're just going to go by NevrEndingPants now? You're not just going to say your pants? That's what I put up right here. It says pants.
Hey, I'm wearing pants. Actually,
you are wearing pants.
I just noticed. Wow.
You're always wearing. Well, you're actually your jeans. You're normally wearing like.
Yeah, this is like a dark denim. You know what I mean?
Yeah, interesting. I'm wearing pants. I always wear pants, and I've got Mario socks on today.
Yeah, you got Mario socks on, and we are dressed down for our quarterlies.
We're our scrubs. So this is the it's
business time.
Oh my gosh, my hair is in my eyeballs.
You look. Ooh, excuse me. I had a little burp. Doc, you look good today.
Thanks, buddy.
You look great. I like the straight, sleek hair.
I do too.
Yeah.
It might make current appearances, but it's difficult to maintain, so I don't.
You guys might notice we're actually on one couch today.
We're on one couch. We're also holding our microphones.
I kind of asked Doc to do it.
You made me do it because he broke his. You can check that out in another episode of why.
It was a 30-second short story.
And which you made in time. Like last time we did that, it was like 30 and then hit 0. And then you just kept talking for another. I should have had like negative time. It would have been super funny.
Yeah, really.
So anyway, in this episode, we are dubbing this the Quarterly. We have officially done 3 entire months of content.
That's right. And that's including with a few hiccups.
Yeah, of course.
I think maybe 1 or 2 weeks we didn't put a piece of content out.
Exactly.
That could have been maybe we were playing the first half of a game, or we were playing a shorts. We had a guest on, or we were finishing up a game. It's kind of what the format's been so far.
So different things. So up until recently, we've been giving you episodes every Monday. That has officially changed.
That's right. It's kind of moved into more of a...
It'll be an every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday thing, right.
It'll be an every Tuesday slot that just gives us a little bit more time to do stuff, make sure everything's perfectly good and right, and alleviates any issues that we've had in the past.
Yeah, I think it's better to... I mean, we've talked about this kind of like in our personal lives, or set some standards and then try to like tenfold them or whatever. But while this is the first time we've ever done a video game podcast. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I've never started another one.
Well, this is the 14th time.
Oh, I see.
That we've done a video game podcast.
Well, okay.
This is like
right. Okay, right. This is,
but this collectively is the first time we've done a video game podcast.
Yes, ScrubHub is not just only my first attempt, but is your assumedly first attempt. So you kind of learn things. I
was thinking of a previous conversation. I don't want to bring it up. I was gonna call it ScrubHub Theory.
Oh my god. That's funny. You're gonna have to. We're gonna
14 episodes are a fact.
Yeah. That's funny.
Never mind. Let's drop it before we pick it up.
But let's.
We got heated a minute ago. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun. It's a shame we didn't record.
Squirrel, Doc. What was I saying, dude? Squirrel.
Porcupine.
Huh?
Porcupine.
Motherfucker. Is this how this update's gonna go?
Anyway, this is the Quarterly. We're gonna approach
update.
Quarterly update.
I'm falling apart. Quarterly. It's a quarterly.
It is the Quarterly. So we've done 3 full months of content of all kinds of video games, all kinds of different things, different formats. It's a good opportunity for you guys to tell us what you liked. We're gonna kind of cover some of those and like some of our favorites and some of our least favorites.
Yeah, definitely.
What we've played. I mean, but we've played stuff from our first episode, which was Mortal Shell.
That's right.
All the way to our most recent episode, which was Pony Island.
Wildly different games.
And the journey to get there was a blast.
Absolutely. I mean, dude, I'm thinking about like...
Did you just spit in your microphone?
It's my mic. I do what I want to my mic. Don't clip that.
Oh my god. This is
um,
gonna be one of those.
yeah, it's gonna be
podcasts.
one of those. But
Oh, so we're on one couch
yeah, that's what I was gonna say a minute ago. You guys might notice we're on one couch.
because pants burned my other one. It's not true.
What?
It's not true. It's not true. It's right there.
Burr, I'm looking at it.
You guys can't see it. It's
Jeez.
right over there.
Call me an arsonist.
Pants got a snake in his boot and
God.
decided to.
I got a snake in my boot.
He wanted to change stuff up. Let us know how you guys think about this format. If you like it better,
Yeah, let us know.
I think we like it.
I got an itch. I enjoy it, honestly. I like being here instead of like staring at you from across the couch.
We can do this now.
We can. Bam.
Boom.
It's so
So
funny. dude.
weird.
It's
Why did
so-
we do that again?
I think what it was, honestly, it was my fault. Because you were sitting down and you were comfortable.
I was
And-
comfortable.
And I walked in, and I do that too. And we had just talked about it because I do that
Yeah.
more often now because of my back. So I just plopped down, bam, and it just happened.
So funny.
It's so funny. But
Oh my gosh, video games.
yeah, I'm just
Oh no,
thinking.
couch. One couch.
Well, one couch, but before that, I mean, yeah, we're on one couch. Let us know what you guys think or whatever. I like it. But I was thinking back, just like the Mortal Shell, and
You know what I just thought of? This is gonna drastically change how I edit these videos
what is that?
because we're way closer together.
A little bit. It's gonna change a little bit. I mean, you zoom in, zoom out. Like,
Yeah. So you guys are gonna see more of our face. Well, I guess in the microphones like this.
yeah,
So-
I'll try to.
So this might be weird.
Yeah, it might be a little bit of a.
Depending on how
strange-
this video turns out, we may do this again. We may not.
Yeah, but I'm assuming it'll be fine. 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 Dude, what the fuck is?
I knew it ended. I knew it ended somewhere. I didn't know where.
Dude, fucking clown with the tissue shit coming out of his mouth or whatever. Never ending XLR. Anyway, I was just thinking back to like Mortal Shell. Remember? We are a video game podcast.
We are a video game podcast.
But
We're gonna talk about video games in a couple minutes, apparently.
I was just thinking back to Mortal Shell, and
Yeah.
I really liked that game. Honestly, thinking back on it, it looked really good. But this might even be teasers,
Yeah.
spoilers to
It's the
ScrubHub
quarterly. It's
itself.
the quarterly. We can do whatever we want.
We may or may not have been playing Demon Souls.
Oh, I play Demon Souls.
Right.
I'm on the platinum track.
Yeah, you're definitely on a
I'm
grind to do it.
trying to platinum
We
it.
may or may not have been playing Elden Ring.
Oh, I'm definitely playing Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no problem saying I'm playing it. Are we going to do a podcast about it?
I don't know.
Don't know. We'll find out.
But just
It
thinking
depends.
back on Mortal Shell after playing these games,
Oh yeah, that's a huge difference.
huge difference. But I actually really enjoyed what they tried to attempt in the little package of the game that they were trying to offer people.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
It was pretty intuitive. It was pretty cool, and kudos to them.
You know what? Like looking back, comparing to the new Demon Souls remake and Elden Ring, Mortal Shell still looks phenomenal. The game looks so good. It plays super fun. They added really, really cool mechanics that you just don't see in any Souls games.
True,
Like
the
the,
hardening.
The hardening was a great
Yeah,
mechanic.
that was pretty rad.
The item discovery. As you use an item, you got more information about it to find out more about it.
Right.
I don't think any of the Souls games do anything like that.
I was trying to think, and I don't really think so. I don't think so. They had a
Well-
pretty interesting parry mechanic,
The
albeit
parry, they added like really cool like abilities to it and stuff.
yeah, albeit spoilers. Elden Ring kind of offers a little interesting take on customizability.
Oh,
Customizability. Just customization on your character and stuff. But I think Mortal Shell approached it in a pretty interesting way too.
It was really cool. It makes sense contextually with the game.
I agree. It's very thematic.
So like there was no point in you having a character customization.
all
in all, it was a phenomenal game. It was a lot of fun. It's just, I think the drawbacks to it were its downfall. You know what I mean? Like, the combat was kind of one-sided. It was very kind of wishy-washy. The AI wasn't super smart, where, like, I know we're talking about Elden Ring now because we're playing that.
Yeah.
Just because we're playing it. Maybe a podcast, maybe not. But the AI in Elden Ring is ridiculous, and it makes me regret that Mortal Shell wasn't. Just wasn't right there. It was almost right there. And it just wasn't.
Yeah, I think it was very close to hitting a mark in terms of being like a really good Souls game, because it looked, like you said, it looked awesome. And you played it on the PS5 version, right?
Yeah, and it looks so good.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
I honestly, I need to compare it. I think it looks better than Elden Ring. Like, and that's no hate to Elden Ring. Like, Elden Ring is so big and so open that it kind of loses the lackluster that you get with that, like the new Demon Souls remake. I think the new Demon Souls looks better than Elden Ring.
Yeah,
but that doesn't. I
would like to see them side by side, but I will agree. The last time I saw the Demon Souls, it was Blue Point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, Blue Point. While I think they might not understand how a Souls game should feel all the way, I think they did a freaking incredible job.
And it's because of the close quarters. Like, you're like compact in a cave, in a tunnel, in whatever. And so everything's really close to you. So you're focused on that, and you're seeing that, and all the lights and the reflections, all that stuff has to exist. Elden Ring is the opposite of that.
Oh yeah, it's pretty wide. Yeah, it's super
But then
open.
when you get into things like the weather and the rain, your drink's over there. Tough luck.
My water.
Tough luck, buddy. When you're in that stuff, Elden Ring looks phenomenal.
Oh, it really does.
It just depends on the moment you look at it. Like, I'm sure if I got into a close quarters area in Elden Ring, it would look just as good, if not better, than Demon Souls and Mortal Shell. I just think they're all beautiful games. Like, when you take the landscaping of Elden Ring, nothing comes close to it. I think Dark Souls 3 is the closest. Dark Souls 3 looked like, when you walked, and it was only a couple times. I didn't even take a drink. I picked it up. But it's only a couple times when you walked into an area and you just saw that huge just craziness in the background.
Oh, like the castles and stuff. The architecture was amazing.
It was just so great. But then you lost it because you're in the tunnels. And Elden Ring really holds on to that. Like, no matter where you are, you still see like some crazy cool stuff in the background. It's really nice.
Yeah.
This isn't an Elden Ring podcast episode.
That's so funny. I was just about to say that. I want to comment on that, but it's not an Elden Ring podcast. But I agree.
But I mean, it was all because we're all referencing back to Mortal Shell. So let's move on to another milestone of the podcast.
I mean, over the last.
One. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, like, I was gonna ask you, like, what have we really done over the last 3 months as a podcast?
So we've done several games. So we've done like Mortal Shell. We've done some Pokemon games. We've done Eternal Darkness, which I think we'll touch on a lot more here in a little bit. We've done Pony Island, Inscription. Those games, I'm sure we'll talk about more.
We've also had a couple guests on.
Oh yeah, completely forgot. We've had some games.
Shorts.
We've had some shorts. We're gonna clear up what shorts mean as well. I've had some comments, but the milestone was Ocarina of Time, right? Ocarina of Time was the first time I had ever played Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
And I mean, still to this day, I'm not going to say my opinion of the game. Like, I think of what I really think compared to the other Legend of Zelda games.
Yeah.
But like, being able to sit down, play it for the podcast. I did it on stream, and I had a bunch of people that were like, "Oh, this is amazing," because it's the first time playing. And like, it was just so good. The community was phenomenal. The game was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I had a couple instances where I was stuck, for sure. But having that, and then being able to sit down with you and have the back and forth of like your experience because you play the crap out of the game.
I did it
compared
one time,
to my
for sure.
fresh eyes.
And
really
that's so
cool.
cool. I'd always yearned to that. You always like kind of want you want someone new to play your favorite game for the first time and get to experience that, and I got to experience that. So
Yeah,
that was pretty special to me.
which is also in a different episode. So never mind.
What?
Oh, well, we may revisit this fresh eyes on a game that's your favorite that you've never played before in the future.
Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about too. So
So anyway, so Ocarina of Time was phenomenal.
ironically, not too long from now either.
Yeah. Sneak peek. Let's see. So we had okay.
Another big one. We got to play a common favorite game between us. Speaking of favorite games, Legend of Dragoon.
Legend of Dragoon.
Which was also hand in hand a guest with someone with
Poetry
Falcon, who is awesome. Poetry Falcon has rated me a couple times on my stream. She
stops in to my stream every once in a while.
Super cool. You know, it's
always fun.
I've never consistently had a podcast. I mean, I've been in one, which was a Studio for plug. There you go. If you can find it, there you go. Watch it, and then if it hasn't been deleted already,
you can find it. I have found it.
I've
watched half of an episode.
You know, in that podcast, Squirrel, I had guests on and stuff. I was gonna say this. I had guests on for that podcast, but it was never someone that I had never met before.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had done that at one time, but it wasn't really the same. But it was really cool to meet with someone that I had never really met before, through you, actually, over my favorite video game, like potentially my actual favorite.
Yeah, Legend of Dragoon is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I think that was great. It's a high point for me too.
Yeah, and that was just really special, especially with as unique as an opinion I think as Poetry brought to the conversation. Like something super funny, and I think you can understand or empathize with this, is when we're sitting here thinking like, I really don't like Shauna.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I really like Shauna. And I'm like, oh no. Like, oh,
it's so funny.
Like, that's just really funny because it's not a common game, right?
It's not. No,
and you don't get to share your opinions
so
too much,
weird.
and you get in your own world over time with I just love this game so much, I'm gonna think about it. So your own opinions become the world that you exist in with this game, instead of getting on forums on the internet about it, or Twitter. If it's not a popular game, it's kind of hard to do those things, but then you actually get to talk with someone. You're like, what?
Yeah.
People like Shauna and Miranda? That's crazy.
Which is weird. Well, I mean,
she liked Shauna. I don't think she cared much for Miranda.
I don't think we talked about that.
Maybe not.
That's
a good question.
We should have talked about that. But how do you feel about one character versus another character? You know, kind of like that character swap in that exists in different medias.
Yeah.
It was really cool. That was really great. Because kind of like you, it's like I know Poetry, but not super well. So just the three of us coming together, talking about a game that we all love for one reason or another was just super cool.
Yeah, that was really, really special.
And then that episode, I believe, led into Jan.
Bless you, Doc.
What was I saying?
That episode led into what
another guest episode.
Did that actually go in directly into?
We went back to back.
With Calypso.
You know what? Maybe we didn't. I think maybe we plugged something in the middle. We had an issue there, but we did have a guest episode shortly right after.
Yeah, we
referenced it. Oh, back to back.
Non-continuity. We recorded one right after.
They were right after.
We didn't release it right after.
That happens.
Sadly.
Welcome to YouTube.
Yep. Welcome to content.
But that led into another great guest episode with Calypso, where we played Alan Wake, which was almost like a flip, right? Neither of us had played Alan Wake, and we brought Calypso in because he loves that game.
Oh, he's the pro. Yeah, he knows about it.
And that was just a great experience to just bring a guest in that just schooled us in a game that we've never played before.
Dude, I love Calypso. He was really, really funny. Handsome guy too. The
Calypso.
Oh yeah, good looking guy. But
I agree.
I think it was just interesting to play that game and how unique it was, Alan Wake, and then to talk to him, and he just had such a passion about it. I was like, man, that's really cool that for this kind of game, because I'm so used. Everyone has this. Everyone has their own favorite thing, but it's really cool and refreshing sometimes to play a game and be like, you know what, I really love this game. It's not my favorite. I like it a lot, but then you get to talk to someone else, and they're like, dude, you played the game? Oh, let me talk to you about it. Like, let me share my thoughts on it. That, I mean, not only does that make them feel really good, but it made me feel really good. You know, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a great game. That takes me into another phenomenal game that we both played, we both enjoyed, but it was a huge deal for me. Eternal Darkness.
Yeah.
Because Eternal Darkness was a GameCube game that's kind of got like a cult following. Some people know about it, some people don't. If you've never had a GameCube and you get a GameCube and you say, what should I get? Most of the time, if people know about the game, they're going to say Eternal Darkness.
Yeah. I feel like that was after, because I never heard of it. Honestly, I'd never played it. I'd never heard of it or anything. But now that I have, it's kind of hard to say that it's, it would be hard to say not to play it, like on like a top 5 or 10 list of GameCube games to
like
play.
It's just so good. Like, even if it's also one of those games where like what they did in the game, what Dennis and team did in this game is so revolutionary to games in general. I still to date don't know another game that does what Eternal Darkness did, from the sanity mechanics, from the magic mechanics. Other things have dabbled here and there, but nothing does it the way Eternal Darkness did. And so what made that super really cool, one, we got to play the game. I still need to play through it 2 more times to get the other endings.
The other endings, yeah.
And
I want to see the cinematics.
And then the true ending. And then, but what made it super special is, for those who don't know, Dennis Dyack, who created Eternal Darkness and Blood Omen Legacy of Kain, and brought us games like Two Human and Twin Snakes, Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes on the GameCube. He was a part of that.
Which is crazy.
Obviously, that game existed, and then they redid it. I think we got games like X-Men Destiny, which I don't know how great the game was. That's irrelevant. We got Eternal Darkness, Legacy of Kain, Twin Snakes, Two Human, which some people hated, didn't like. Doesn't matter. Your opinion. He's working now currently on a new game, Dead House Sonata, plug. DeadHouseSonata.com, where you play as the undead fighting the living and others, maybe.
Dude, the developments on the tech demo that I've seen with the videos that you've shared with me look super cool. And like the audible and like the audio and
yeah, so it's a spiritual successor to Blood Omen, Legacy of Kain. Continuing on what Nosgoth and what stuff would have become had he stayed on that project. And it's a spiritual successor in a way to the Eternal Darkness magic system.
Yeah.
Because I just showed you the new like kind of magic system soundtrack that they're using as the magic. You can find that on Dead House Sonata's YouTube. It was the most recent episode that they just did at the end of February. The last Wednesday of February.
It's crazy too.
Super cool, super fun. And so the whole reason I say all of this is because I was able to take our Eternal Darkness episodes and send them to Dennis specifically and share them with him and talk to him about the game and stuff like that. And it was just super cool. It was a lot of fun. He's a great guy. And I mean, how do you not like geek out when you're looking like Legacy of Kain is one of my favorite franchises of all time. How do you not freak out getting to play a game, one, you've never gotten to play, and then share it with the creator, who's also the creator of one of your favorite games?
Right.
That's
like
how do you not experience. How are you not excited about that?
Right. Yeah. That's a really, really cool experience. Not like necessarily even close to that, because it's not like a game that I had been playing since I was a kid or for a while, but in a very similar way, we played another amazing game we played was Inscription. And
Man, the
personally,
game's so good.
we've kind of off cam, maybe we'll talk about this in an update or something like that. Off cam, we've talked about how maybe on some facets I'm not a gamer.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously I think that I provide good opinions on games and stuff sometimes. But I really enjoy Magic the Gathering and stuff like that, and I really like the card game aspect and stuff. So Inscription really pulled me into it pretty quickly, and then opened up this world of, hey, this is more than just a card game. I'm not going to touch on it too much because if you guys haven't played it, just either go play it, or if you have, go watch the episode that we have. We'll put an annotation.
This is the quarterly. We're cramming 12
yeah.
episodes of recap into this episode.
It's a lot. But so we started playing that game, and dude, I fell deeply in love with that game.
Dude, it's
like
so
really,
good.
really deep. Like to the point where I cried on that podcast, dude. Just like talking about that game and talking about Leshy.
Dude, I think we both did. We were both like, oh, it was so good.
And that's only happened with maybe like 4 games.
There's only 2 games in my entire life that have ever made me cry. Inscription, which is recent, and Lost Odyssey on the Xbox 360.
Which we need to play.
We need to play it. Dude,
remember the thing we talked about, like
good.
About past and future?
Man, it's so good.
That's the thing for this one.
What do you mean?
I'll remind you at the end of the episode.
Okay.
But as far as Inscription goes, I just, same as you, just like deeply fell in love with the game. And it's like I was mentioning, I'm not a huge gamer, I guess you would say, but like I just
bit my tongue, dude. Oh my god.
No.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but oh my god, that hurt so bad.
All right,
continue.
Relax for a sec, Doc, and we're gonna take a short break because it's a stupid camera, but I just really fell in love with Inscription, and as a non-gamer sometimes, like it's been a while since I've been able to do that with a game.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know, it was a couple days after we finished the game, or excuse me, we finished the game, we did the episode, we put it out. It was a couple days after we put out the episode that I woke up to a text message, and you were like, you sent me a screenshot, and you were like, hey, check this out. And it was like an email from Daniel Mullins. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Was like, and I just saw like pretty quickly, hey, I'm really glad that you guys liked the game. And I was like,
yeah. I completely forgot.
What? You emailed Daniel Mullins? And then I opened it up all the way, and you did. You were like, hey, me and my podcast partner Pants played your game. We did this episode. We really loved your game. Hope you like this, and thank you so much for the game. And just even getting a reply or some kind of acknowledgement.
I got the reply the next day. It was almost immediately. It was pretty quick.
That's just really cool, and similar to your experience. I'm in some small ways. I know you have a pretty awesome, I think, in my opinion, relationship with Dennis. And the Dead House community. I saw that, and I was like, dude, that's really cool. Like, I didn't think that I would accomplish that even within a few months of having this podcast, but that was really cool.
So with that, we're going to go ahead and take a small break. You guys won't even know we were gone. Actually, you probably will, because there'll be a black screen. Maybe you'll see our logo. And then we'll pop right back in and be like, oh, welcome back.
Yeah.
But we're going to take a small break just because we have to. And we're going to talk about some more of the most recent games that we've played in the last few weeks and their futures.
That's right.
So
that's right.
That's going to be exciting. So we will see you right back in just a few minutes. Well, seconds.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and
we're back. Oh, we're back. How'd you gonna mess it up?
I said welcome back.
But you started in the last scene with "and we're back." Oh, maybe "and welcome back" would work too. I ruined it.
Well, I don't think you ruined it. I think you just made a different decision without us talking about it.
That's true. We didn't talk about it. Anyway, welcome back. That's going to be hilarious.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Welcome back to ScrubHub. Doc, how you feeling, buddy?
Dude, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty
We had
good.
a nice little break. Get a chance to recoup.
That's right.
This is the quarterly. This is our 3-month. This is a recap of our last full 3 months.
A check-in, if you will.
Of a check-in, a check-up, a quarterly.
That's right.
So this might be a format that we will continue. I actually like this. It's a lot of fun.
I think it's good because oftentimes maybe maybe this is good for you guys as the audience, as gamers, to kind of sit back and reflect on some of the games that you played over the last couple months. I'd love to know, and I'm sure Doc would as well, what games have you guys played over the last couple months? Really sit and evaluate it, think on it.
Yeah.
Because something I don't think, as I'm starting to try, I really love video games, but I can see the archetype of a gamer and be like, man, you guys are dedicated. Like, you guys adore this. So I think something outside of being a gamer, I'm starting to fill those shoes a little bit because I'm in a gaming podcast.
You're getting better.
I'm getting better. I think something outside looking in that would be really beneficial to a lot of gamers would be every quarterly, stop, evaluate some of the games you've played, because you guys play a lot more games than I do. Think about that. Pick up on some of the things that you really loved about some of the games you played, some of the things you really didn't like, some of the things maybe you would like to explore more of. Maybe like, man, I was playing this one game and there were some puzzle aspects to it that I really loved, and I don't feel like I get enough of that in some games. And maybe it was like a first person thing. Like, maybe you're like, you know what? I found this old game that's kind of like that. Maybe I want to play Myst.
Oh, that's random.
You know what I mean?
That's
super random, but you're like, puzzle game. You know, maybe I go back to the origins of like big puzzle games or something like that. Maybe I want to do that.
Dude, Myst is hard. I tried to play Myst.
It is.
I don't even know what I'm doing in it.
It's super difficult, but I think, taking a step back as a gamer, evaluating yourself, it's really healthy, and I think that it'll keep you in check and it'll keep things fresh, almost like a relationship with your games.
Super cool. And you know what you can do after you reflect on that quarterly assessment? You can create content on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch.
That's right.
Facebook, all of the platforms that you can find us on. So, with that said, how many what games have you played in the last 3 months that are not ScrubHub content, not even necessarily your Twitch content, that you've just played? Just to play. I know you've played a few. Maybe not a lot.
There's been a couple because, like,
but I know you've played a few.
As like a content creator that talks about video games, it's nice to get outside of the realm of like, oh, I'm free to just play this game. I don't have to talk about it. Like, I just play it, enjoy it, digest it. There's no timeline. Right off the top of my head was Paper Mario.
Oh, nice.
I retouched on that because I'm a big fan of Mario RPG, which I also was playing.
Oh, that's
nice. I was playing it side and side.
Both of those games are great.
Yeah,
I enjoy Paper Mario. Have you played the one on the Wii, Thousand Year Door?
Thousand Year Door? No. And it's because
it's so good.
I'm gonna tell you a quick bam. We do this a couple times. 30-second story. How did Pants start playing Paper Mario?
When am I starting this timer?
And pow! So I started getting an interest in playing Paper Mario on the 64, the original one, because my brother, he has a Switch. He's 8 years old. I was rummaging through his games. I wanted to pick up maybe something new to play that I didn't own. So I stole his new Paper Mario. I don't remember which one it was. Let me know in the comments which one that is, the newest one on the Switch. I took that one, waited 4 months to play it.
I think it's called New Paper
and
Mario.
I ended up, I loaded it in. I was like, this is not a fucking RPG. Why am I playing this right now? Why am I playing this? So I took it out and I was like, dude, I know that Paper Mario is an RPG. I'm going to go back and just play what I know is an RPG. I'm gonna play Super Mario RPG. So I started playing that, and I was like, I want something fresh and new because I played this game. So then I stumbled upon So then I stumbled into Paper Mario, and I think I lost the 30 seconds. That's longer than 30 seconds.
Yeah, that was a whole minute right there.
Ah.
You lost a long time ago.
Dang it. I'm
Anyway,
so thankful that
so
I don't
Paper
have
Mario.
to eat hot sauce or something I'm used to on stream.
If you want to see Pants eat hot sauce anytime he fails a 30-second challenge, please leave a comment below. And
That
then
would be good.
in the next video, if he failed a 30-second challenge, if he had a 30-second challenge, he will eat hot sauce live on recording.
I will actually, and then I have to do the podcast following.
That's what you'll see in the break. That's what'll happen. We'll do the break because we don't really fill it with anything. We'll fill it with you eating hot sauce.
I'll do my ads. I'll do the ads with hot sauce mouth.
That's amazing.
That's good. But Doc, I mean, that's just a little bit about me. What about you?
So I am a gamer. I play tons of games. So off stream, off ScrubHub, most recently, I've been playing Horizon Forbidden West, which just came out, the sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn. And I've also been playing YuGiOh Master Duel, which I've been having a blast with. Mad respect to Yu-Gi-Oh players. Those cards currently,
dude, you guys are fucking crazy.
Those cards
I have no
are
interest.
nuts, man.
I'm a Magic player.
I was playing a game and I was trying to do something, and then all of a sudden I'm like, wait, what happened? Why nothing was on the board? I'm like, why can't I do like this special summon, or why can't I do this thing? Turns out 15 cards ago on the same turn, he played a card that prevented me from doing anything. And it was one sentence in this huge paragraph of text on this creature. So like, mad respect there, because I know most people were like, well, that's ridiculous. It's not like whatever. And one of the biggest reasons, not to go into a big Yu-Gi-Oh rant, Magic the Gathering, which most people, if they don't play Yu-Gi-Oh, they play Magic.
Most of the time, yeah.
Magic the Gathering has set rules, right? Like, these rules are established. They've always been established. The only thing that changes is when a new mechanic is introduced. And those new mechanics, like Cycle or whatever, all operate within the established rules of Magic. Right?
Yu-Gi-Oh.
No, I'm talking about Magic. Like, I'm comparing Magic to Yu-Gi-Oh. So that's why Magic, you get a card and it has one sentence, because you already have all these rules established. In Yu-Gi-Oh, it's different. So like, a card has a paragraph of text because that card operates specifically against the rules of the norm. So it has to be explained as to why this card can do this when normally it would always...
That's so
it would always follow the rules.
strange.
And that's why there's big paragraphs. So like, a perfect example, right? There are cards that say must be first special summoned. Right? So that means, and then it explains how it's special summoned specifically. So it must be first special summoned this way. So if it goes to anywhere else on the board, so let's say it goes to the graveyard from your hand, and your thought process is, oh, boom, Monster Reborn, which says revive a monster from your graveyard and put it on the field. Makes sense. You're like, cool, I can Monster Reborn that monster. You can't, because that monster specifically says must be first special summoned this way. So any other special summoning from like a Monster Reborn or something like that doesn't apply to that card, because it wasn't first special summoned the other way. If you did that first, then yeah, you could Monster Reborn.
Makes sense.
So that's why all those cards have all that text, is to just outline the rules that this card is specifically doing. And because of that, I have a newfound respect to Yu-Gi-Oh players for, one, remembering what all these cards do. Like, that's amazing. And so it's a blast. It's really cool.
Yeah. That might, outside of like the fact that I've always just been kind of torn towards, or like pulled more towards Magic, that might be, if not one of the main reason I never got pulled into Yu-Gi-Oh! Or was never interested in it, was because I'm more of like, hey, these are the rules, and we're gonna make sentences that with some basic understanding of the game, you can make calculations as to what is going to happen based on me playing this card. Right. So I don't need to, you don't need to read between the lines, or I don't need to like read the text too hard. You look at it, you're like, oh, like it has triggers. I get it. Yep. You have triggers, or X, Y, and Z. Like, it's just super easy. So it's
X, Y, Z. That Xyz. That's a Yu-Gi-Oh thing.
It's just a little bit closer to playing chess. Whereas like Yu-Gi-Oh is super wild card. It's like you have no fucking clue. There's just no way to prepare for it. And like there is a meta, and to say that there isn't a meta in Yu-Gi-Oh, which I've heard people say that there's not a meta,
man,
because you can just play whatever you want and it can't succeed in its own way. It has a higher ceiling to do that than Magic does, because Magic is adherent to a meta. We're getting into a card game podcast, and this is not what this is.
No, I understand what you're saying, and I think I agree. I think there's kind of a meta in Yu-Gi-Oh.
There is, because people are playing certain cards that are better,
but it's not as
locked in.
It's not as locked in, because unfortunately, where Yu-Gi-Oh kind of Yu-Gi-Oh is all about, boom, I'm going to win immediately. And if I can't win immediately, then I'll stall. But if you can't, like, I have a couple decks. I play Blue Eyes sometimes. Chaos Max. I love it. It's super fun. But guess what? If I can't trigger on turn 2, it's game over. I lose. I might as well just quit. And that's just the effect. But it's so fun sometimes.
But that sounds like modern Magic to me.
But see, Magic can last multiple rounds, even in... Well, okay, I don't play modern, so I don't know.
That sounds like, but you say
I play standard.
But that sounds like modern. Like, to where it's just like, if I don't pop off round 2 and I'm playing against Affinity, I'm speaking from old references here, by the way. I know Affinity's been banned for a while, basically, but...
Like, you have cards that you want to draw, and you have cards that you need to get to do your thing to cinch your win. And that's how Yu-Gi-Oh is.
Yeah, I mean, Magic is very similar to that, and I think that Yu-Gi-Oh is more like, hey, we're going to make the rules so that people can find interesting looking archetypes and just play those and have a better chance of winning. And Magic is like, hey, we're creating a pool of cards, and we anticipate our players coming up with the best that they can of these,
and I think
to battle it out and duke it out. So I'm not saying, when I say that, and before I say what I'm about to say, I'm not saying that Magic is better than Yu-Gi-Oh. I do think that with the platform that each of those has kind of presented and the directions that they've gone, I feel like Magic has gone more towards, hey, we're going to throw this ambiguous pool of Magic cards out to a group and see who can be the most competitive, and
I agree.
See who can be the best. And Yu-Gi-Oh is more like, hey, we're going to still make a competitive platform, like, we're going to make a platform for people to be competitive while also just like really just kind of picking something that's really cool that works great. Right?
I agree. Magic, that's one of the biggest benefits to Magic, is that Magic can be like, hey, here's a bunch of cards, and if everyone uses the same few cards, that's cool, but then you can build your customization around it. Yu-Gi-Oh uses an archetype system, which is really cool. If you want to play Blue Eyes, all your cards are blue. And that's how the show presents itself.
There's a lot of synergy involved,
which is really cool. And I don't know if you can see it on this camera, but like Digimon, the Digimon card game, is specifically broken down, not necessarily into archetypes. Like, I have a Greymon deck, but it's broken down into 6 colors, and those colors don't mix. You can have a red-yellow deck, but a pure red or a pure yellow deck is going to crush you. I mean, and I think it allows you to play what you want to play and just completely ignore everything else. Nothing else even matters. And I don't think that that's a bad system. I think people just have to understand it. Anyway,
Yeah.
because we're talking about Yu-Gi-Oh, another thing that we did here on the podcast is Pokemon.
It's kind of interesting.
No,
Magic
that
into
segue
Yu-Gi-Oh,
has nothing.
Pokemon.
Has nothing. I'm just getting back into our content.
Yeah, our normal
what we're
content
doing.
or whatever.
So one of the other series that we played on this podcast was Pokemon. We did Diamond
Transitions.
Dude, I know they're rough.
But we played a lot of Pokemon actually.
So we've done both Diamond and Pearl. You played one, I played one.
Yeah.
And then we also did Legends Arceus.
That's right.
So let me say, in a world of Pokemon games, I think we picked a phenomenal time to jump into Pokemon and do a podcast about it.
I was about to say that, like, what a time to not only start playing Pokemon again, because it's been a while since I've been like, yeah, of course I'm getting the Pokemon game, like, because for a while before now, again, I just said this earlier in the episode, I'm not like, I haven't been like a huge gamer the last couple years.
Mm-hmm.
As a kid, yeah, absolutely, I was just a gamer. That's all I did from the ages of being born to like maybe like 16 or 17. That's all I did. But
Pants had a PSP in his hand when he was born.
A PSP?
Yeah.
It was more like a 64 controller, baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just trying to age you based on handhelds.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I could easily, like, I remember when the Game Boy came out and stuff.
Yeah.
And you were like, what's a Game Boy?
Well, actually, if it was a handheld, it would probably have been a Game Boy Color, because that was my first Game Boy. It was
a joke, man. It was a joke, Pants.
Well, you didn't platform it correctly.
I did. That's why I said he was born with a PSP. That's the joke, meaning that you're young, meaning that you're not old enough to have a Game Boy.
But I am.
But the joke is that you're younger than me. That's the joke. And now, guess what? You ruined the joke because the joke had to be explained. We're going to have a moratorium on jokes here on ScrubHub Podcast.
It's going to be an update. It'll be an update.
Anyway, so we jumped in real quick. So
Where the fuck am I?
We played some awesome Pokemon games. And I bring that up because, one, it's relevant. It's what we've done. It's the most recent things we've done. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, which was great remakes. Then we got Pokemon Arceus, which was a phenomenal new take on Pokemon games. It's just like, hey, here's a spin-off that wasn't like Pokemon Puzzle or Pokemon Dungeon. It was a real Pokemon game. And just this past Sunday, we had the first Pokemon Nintendo Direct of the year announcing brand new Pokemon games, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, coming out this year. Like, this is just a phenomenal time to jump in and play Pokemon.
It's been a pretty hot, I mean, it's going to be a hot 2021 and 2022. I mean, back to back those 2 years. And not to even mention that right before that, they put out Pokemon Snap. The new Pokemon Snap. So,
which
honestly,
is super fun too.
I feel like, and maybe this has a lot to do with maybe the last couple of years and how it's affected the world globally. You kind of see that Nintendo, tell me if I'm wrong, down in the comments or whatever. It seems like Nintendo is putting all their eggs in one basket, and they know that their basket is Pokemon. They know if they have a basket, that their basket is Pokemon.
Gosh darn it, my pant leg, dude. Ugh.
What about it? Is it just short? Mine are never ending, baby.
Oh! We had a moratorium on jokes.
But that's just to prove that I'm good. I get jokes.
When's your special?
I'm gonna let y'all know on my Twitch. I'm working on it. I am putting it together.
Okay.
I'm working
you heard
on
it here
it.
on ScrubHub.
Oh, so, I was kind of telling you one earlier.
Pokemon.
The one upstairs. But anyway, the Pokemon. Squirrel.
Dude, you were gonna tell me something that you're gonna tell me something.
Dude, I make good points.
You said past the future. Do you know what I'm talking about when you said that?
Nope.
Dang, son. It's on this video. Anyway, Pokemon. So we're talking about Pokemon. Pokemon was
things in the brain,
one of the most recent things that we played here on ScrubHub. So, without going too much into that, I think it's a good time We're wrapping up the episode. We're right at the end. Do you have anything special you want to say? I haven't.
I was on to something like 2 times during Pokemon.
Are you still saying it? Do you know what you're saying?
I don't.
Okay, then it doesn't matter.
Well, I would like to. I
Do you
don't
know
know
what
drop it?
What? Do you know what you were going to say?
No.
Okay, then it doesn't matter.
That doesn't make me feel any better.
If you completely forgot, there's no point in sitting here wasting time waiting for you to try to remember.
I need to.
If you don't remember, we can't continue.
I just need time to remorse.
We don't have time.
Okay. I guess we're just going to buckle in and move on. No time to think.
We don't have time. We have 9 minutes and we have to wrap up this episode.
Somehow.
If you think about it, you just bust in and be like, Pokemon, I remember. Okay. But what I was going to say, so here at ScrubHub, we had a format. We came in. I think it's a good time to talk about the podcast a little bit. We came in with an idea of this book club style podcast where we would. What is wrong? I feel like you're agitated.
No, I'm not agitated. I'm focused. Now my sinuses are doing this.
Do you guys feel it? I feel it. I feel you are exuding a presence that is oppressive towards me.
What are you talking about? I did that.
Anyway, so we approached ScrubHub GameClub in a book club style fashion where we want to play a game with you. We want your feedback on a game. We want you to have the time to play a game in a certain amount of time, get to a certain point where we can all interact and talk about it, right? Mm-hmm. Like, that's why we have a couple formats on the YouTube, on the podcast, that you're going to find. You're going to find we may change the way they are, but right now that's like our series that are our mainline episodes, like part 1 and part 2, where we play the first half of a game and then later we come back and play a second half of a game. Okay, that's your opportunity to play those games with us and we all interact. Then we have the shorts format, which are not necessarily short videos, but it's where we feel that those games are able to be compiled into one single episode without having to play multiple sessions.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like that format. I like what we've done. Do you think we might change that in the future? Approaching a different way, maybe?
Well, I think as we've played games, we've kind of decided, hey, like, because there's discussion obviously under a platform on the backside. Those are kind of what you said is kind of our like forward thinking on the premise, or like wearing on our sleeve. Those are our goals, for the audience or whatever. On the back end, there's a lot of like in between stuff. Is like, okay, let's get to some checkpoints. And I'm a pretty busy person, so I jump around. I try to play the games when I can. I make time for it, whatnot. So it's not like we constantly are able to text all day, every day, but like, hey, I got to this part of this game. What do you think about it? So it's kind of like we get to a certain part of the game. Personally, I'm like, I kind of want to talk to Doc about this, like, because I'm going through this in this game. So maybe I'll shoot you a text, or maybe not. Maybe we just play the game. Maybe it's smooth.
Yeah.
So there's like a lot of in-between stuff that may or may not happen in between those that doesn't always get seen on the camera or like heard in the audio or whatever. But there's always a discussion, whether it be as soon as we decide what game we're playing, or as soon as we're recording the episode, about how we should talk about the game and how the game was to play. And it's never the same. Every game's different.
Completely agree.
There's different genres, there's different lengths of games, there's different difficulties, there's just
there's a lot, there's a
like
lot
tattoos.
Of different stuff.
There's so many different genres of it. It's just hard to compile it onto one thing. So, but the most important thing I think that for me that we've done in this podcast is we've really honed in and talked about how games are played. Games are not always played the same way, and not all games are meant to be played the same way. But there's one thing that all games are meant to be, and that's enjoyable.
Yeah.
They are
I agree.
all meant to be enjoyable. So I think a lot of the discussion over the first section of this podcast, right, because it's the first couple months that we've done it, has been, at least on my end, is how can we approach this game in a way that is most respectably consuming it without putting a pressure on it for a podcast.
Right.
Like
I think that's right.
I don't want to play this game while thinking, oh my gosh, I have to beat this game in a couple days. Or
yeah, I want to play. I want to play the game and enjoy it without the stress of thinking.
I have to talk about it later.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree.
Because sometimes, I think the most apparent time in this, it's like the two opposites for me. One of them is Souls games. Sometimes we haven't even
hint.
Yeah, we haven't even necessarily hint. It's just sometimes it's hard to put a deadline on games like that. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say too much on that. It's really it's really hard to put a deadline on a Souls game. But on the opposite end of that, sometimes there are games that we didn't even put a deadline on it. Got it finished for me early, but Doc's like, I put like a ton of time into that game. I found a lot of stuff, and I'm like, wow, I still really like the game, like a ton. It fulfilled me a lot, but Doc got a similar, if not more value out of it after putting more time into it. So I think one big underlying thing for the first couple months of this podcast was just like giving each game its own section.
Yeah.
It's hard to say like, oh, it's an RPG, or hey, it's a horror game, hey, it's a puzzle game, or whatever.
I agree. I completely agree with that. So a couple minutes left. Moving forward into the next quarter of ScrubHub, what is one thing that you would like to accomplish in the ScrubHub podcast? Just one thing, and I'll share my one thing.
Yeah,
and we'll wrap up.
I want to play a horror game. I want to play a strict horror game, which I know you don't want to do. I want to play a horror. I'm not gonna make just like it's not gonna be the scariest, but I want to find, in my opinion, a really solid, good horror game that has a great story and will keep you energized and enticed as much as it will keep you scared. That's a goal.
Oh my God.
I haven't quite got there yet. I haven't worked too much on it, but that's a goal. I did tell myself that a couple weeks ago.
You know what my goal is for ScrubHub?
Let me hear it, babe.
To produce more content for you, you the viewer. That's my goal. Like I want one thing that I would love is to have more footage of our actual gameplays while we're maybe talking about specific moments.
Yeah.
So to be able to show on the podcast, on YouTube, or whatever. Like, that's what I want to do. You're like, horror games. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh God. It's my least favorite genre.
I know it is, but it's my favorite genre.
What's your least favorite genre?
My least favorite genre is FPS.
Boom, guys. We're going to be playing an FPS game pretty soon. Check that out.
Damn it.
Ooh, there's some good ones. Time Shift on the PS3.
Albeit there are probably some good ones.
Or Haze on the PS3 is good too.
Well,
or Jericho. Let's do Jericho.
No, real quick, because I said this at the beginning of the episode. I want to play that one game. Your favorite game. You said there was two games that made you cry. Inscription.
A Lost Odyssey, but that's an RPG.
Odyssey. It's RPG, but it's a shooter too, right?
No.
It doesn't have
RPG.
It doesn't have guns in it?
No. It has RPGs like a freaking RPG does. But what about Jericho? Jericho is a horror game
I don't know.
And a first-person shooter.
Sure.
Boom.
2-in-1.
Anyway, that's going to be it.
Where can they fucking find you playing it,
Thanks
though?
for watching the Quarterly. You guys can find me on Twitch, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter at RX_Bishop_MD. Where can they find you?
Same place. Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. NevrEndingPants without the second E in never.
Boom.
And if I can leave you with any information,
if you're not good,
get good, please. You have to do it.
Say bye.
Bye.